Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Monday Project meeting. It is November 4th, our first meeting of November. We are quickly coming up to the end of this year. Surprising how fast it came up on us. Welcome to our meeting. We have updates coming to you from across the Mozilla Project. We're going to open with our calendar, where we focus on events that are coming up in the next week. On Wednesday, November 6th, we have an add-ons community meeting at 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Please check the wiki agenda for the add-ons community meeting agenda and wiki notes if you're interested in showing up to that meeting. Also on Wednesday, November 6th, we have the Homebrew Website Club. The Homebrew Website Club is a growing worldwide network of meetups for everyone who wants to take back their experience from social media silos and own their online identities, content, and interactions. Homebrew Website Club happening in Austin, Texas. At 6:30 in the evening, local time. Details and RSVP link are in the wiki agenda. Next week, we have the Dev Roadshow happening in Asia. November 11th in Tokyo, 13th in Seoul, 15th in Taipei, 18th in Singapore, and 20th in Bangkok. There is a link to the more information about the Asia Dev Roadshow coming up next week. And as is usual, I won't read these, but we have a list of Mozilla DevRel complimentary tickets. So if you're interested in attending one of these events listed in the wiki page, there's a form you can fill out to get sponsorship and more details. Also, upcoming Mozilla sponsored developer events are listed in this wiki page. Too many to list here, but if you are interested in events that are coming up more than 1 week out, so don't make our detailed calendar, please check out the wiki for a list of developer relations sponsored events. And with that, we move to the speakers series of our daily meeting, and we open with me, Asa Dotzler, and the Firefox update. I happen to be first into the wiki with my agenda today, so we start off. Firefox 70.0.1 is our current stable release. The dot release was driven by a need to fix a local storage bug that was causing some sites or elements on some sites not to load properly. So we got that fix out. Firefox 71 is in the beta channel, and that ships to our stable release on December 3rd, just about a month away. Beta 7 and 8 go out this Tuesday and this Friday. There are only 12 betas scheduled for this cycle. We are in the beginning ramp down where we move from 7-week cycles to 4-week cycles, and this one shortens a little bit, so 12 betas instead of the more typical 14 betas. Over the last week, we saw about 70 fixes uplifted to the beta channel. A little bit high rate for fix uplifts, but it was a slightly lower rate than normal the week before, so it kind of balances out. We tend to see about 50 fixes uplifted at this phase of the beta cycle. But remember, the cycle is shrinking, so if you've got changes that need to make it into Firefox 71, you'll want to get those uplifted ASAP. Firefox 72 is in the nightly channel, and that ships to our stable release on January 7th, just about a month after Firefox 71. Over the last week, there have been about 400 fixes landed, including these notable ones. Behind and about config pref, we now have HTTP 3 support in Firefox nightly builds. You can enable this with about config. I will give you guys an update as soon as it comes out from behind that flag. After some warnings in the Scratchpad itself and in documentation on the website, the Scratchpad has been removed from DevTools. We have an alternative to this tool available to you today, but the Scratchpad is gone in Nightly. GeckoView got a WebShare API support. Users now have a button to opt out of feature promotions. And the megabar has been temporarily disabled in Nightly, this new address bar that sort of inflates when you focus it. We've got enough feedback on the early implementations, and while they sort out next steps, that implementation has been disabled in Nightly, so you return to the classic awesome bar experience. And last but not least, zoom and full screen buttons in the Firefox hamburger menu now have accessible labels. Real nice that those are accessible to screen reader users. With that, we move to our next update coming to us from Andrew Krug, the IT Minute. Take it away, Andrew.
It's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to empower Mozillians in their mission to keep the web, a global public resource, open and accessible to all. 4 updates today. First, from the IT Data and Analytics team. They're ingesting data in real time to the new customer data platform from Zendesk and the Firefox Skyline release in order to support premium services. If interested in additional information on that, please contact Sumit Das or Josephine T. Next up, on the topic of premium services, the subscription platform has processed Mozilla's first premium subscription transaction. Although the platform is not available to the public yet, testing with real credit cards, real customers, and data flow between Stripe, FXA, Zendesk, and Salesforce has begun. This is a major milestone in supporting Mozilla's new premium services model. Finally, from the AV team, 2 updates. First topic, Air Mozilla. This morning, we launched the 2019 H2 Air Mozilla Satisfaction Survey. The survey will take 3 minutes to complete and will run from November 4th through the 15th. Your valuable feedback will contribute to the development of an improved web streaming solution for 2020. You can find the survey here on screen or via the link in today's email. Last, Zoom. It's official. The Mozilla and Pocket SFO offices have said goodbye to the Zoom lady. Both offices are now 100% Zoom rooms. Between the 2 locations, 55 rooms were upgraded to the new Zoom room design, including adding 8 brand new rooms in the Mozilla SFO office. Globally, this puts the Zoom room conversion effort at 47% done. A special thanks to WPR for their support on upgrades with donating 1.5 tons of legacy AV equipment to charity. Up next and starting today, Mountain View with 55 rooms. For more information on that MTV Zoom transition, visit the Mana page here. With that, that's the minute. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Andrew. Please do fill out that Air Mozilla survey. This event comes to you on Air Mozilla, as do many other important Mozilla events, and we'd like to get as much feedback as possible. Next up, with the emerging technology update, we have Joe Fish K. Joe Fish?
Thank you. I'm here to tell you about what's going on in ET, and we have 3 things this week. The first thing is that a whole bunch of my colleagues are on the Mozilla Developer Roadshow, meaning they are wandering around Asia in incredible speed. I'm not really jealous of them at all for that, I've got to say. They have a bunch of them coming up. We invite you all to come join. Please do register. As Asa mentioned earlier, they'll be in Tokyo on November 11th, Seoul on November 13th, Taipei on November 15th, Singapore on November 18th, Bangkok on November 12th, I don't know, 20th, that doesn't sound right, thank you. We'll fix that. And then they will come back here in time to collapse for Thanksgiving, I think is the current plan. So please do register. Second thing, as you may recall, we've had some success with Project Bergamo, which is our EU-funded effort to bring neural machine translation to the browser. We submitted a mandatory grant status report to the EU with a video demo of German to English translation in Firefox. And what was surprising was how many people picked up on that. We saw at least 30 articles in 18 different languages. And if you haven't seen the video, it's absolutely worth looking at and clicking through. I'm also particularly delighted to see this because I think this sort of model of cooperation with things like the EU is very exciting, because we have a very small team on this, but we're working with people in Edinburgh, we're working with people in, I think it's 5 different universities across Europe, and they're all contributing to make Firefox better, right? I mean, they're contributing to make this project work, but a side effect is making Firefox better, and that's great to see. And the third thing I'd like to mention is that the first Alliance for Open Media Research Symposium happened last week. AV1 is our effort to make so that people can watch video on the web without having to pay for codecs, essentially, so they can also have a superior video watching experience. Have a flip through to the website. You can look at the slides and the abstracts. That's what we've got right now and going on in ET. Thank you very much. Back to you,
Thank
Hector.
you, Joe Fish. Very excited about this Bergamot collaboration, being able to do translation locally in the browser without shipping your data off to a third party is super exciting. I'm going to refresh the agenda to see if anything else has come on for speakers. It doesn't look like it. So with that, we move to the welcome section where we say hi to some new Mozillians. We're going to start off in Toronto with George Roeder, who has an introduction. George? I think we're having some audio difficulty. 1 second, George, while we get the audio working.
is a senior full stack developer, the lead engineer for the Common Voice project. Jenny will be based in the great city of Toronto, right here. You can find her on Slack and all the places at JZ, or for those of you who are American, JZ. So please welcome Jenny to the team.
Welcome, Jenny. And next up, coming from PDX, we have an introduction, Daria Loy, to introduce a senior UX researcher.
So I'm really delighted to introduce Heather McGathy, and you spell Megati, not Megici, as it seems to imply from the actual spelling. And we're really thrilled to have her here in the Portland office. She comes from a pretty long track record of user experience research in both the corporate environment as well as agency environment. And a very important thing to know about Heather, in addition to all that beautiful work that we look forward to seeing in our team in emerging technologies, is that she is a visual artist, very accomplished one, and she quite often has, in fact, a beautiful art exhibition in the local area. So welcome, Heather. We look forward to working with you.
Hi.
Welcome, Heather. And next up here in Mountain View, we have Daniel Holbert with an introduction. Daniel?
Hi, I'm introducing Emily McDonough, who is currently remote, but will be joining the Portland office pretty soon. She'll be joining the platform layout and rendering team. So welcome, Emily.
Welcome, Emily. And last but not least, in YVR, we have Chris coming to us with an introduction.
Hi, please join me in welcoming Bert Pierce to Mozilla. Bert comes from a long career in video game development, from such amazing titles like Divine Divinity, EVE Online in Iceland, and then more recently Dead Rising and FIFA. He'll be joining the Vancouver office, and he'll be joining the Firefox graphics team as a senior software engineer.
Welcome, Bert. Yeah. Going to do another refresh to see if anything has come on the agenda. Looks like that's it for the day. We are all wrapped up. We'll see you the same time, same place next week. Until then, keep on rocking the free web.